Hey, so this is going to be a pretty candid video, but I think it's timely and important. So I've been active on YouTube for about 7 years. I've uploaded over 2,000 videos covering a wide range of topics, mostly current affairs and issues around those. I've got over 1,500 subscribers, and I imagine they're a mix of people. The response I've got is mostly positive, and I know that from the thumbs up, thumbs down ratio because it's roughly 70% thumbs up to 30% thumbs down, roughly speaking. That's a cumulative 7 year period. Although I have to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of that system. I find it a little bit of a shallow popularity thing. Nevertheless, I am genuinely grateful for people who have subscribed. Maybe they've seen one or two of my videos, and they like what they see. And just to be clear about that, I do know that there is a lot of positive comments. If you've made that sort of comment and I haven't replied, then please excuse me. The reason I don't reply to every comment is simply for time reasons. It is, um, there's a lot of comments, and I have a life outside YouTube, to be honest. So it's not that I'm not grateful for positive feedback. I try to get back to that, by the way. If someone's left a positive comment, I try to respond. Negative comments, I don't remove them for the most part because I'm not looking for an echo chamber. If I had an echo chamber whereby everyone was disagreeing with me, I'd actually be a little bit suspicious of that. So that's never been what I've been looking for. But at this point, I do want to respond a little bit to certain things I've been noticing recently. I'm a private individual. I'm not a public figure. I'm not running some big multinational or major news or media network. I'm a private individual. I'm simply voicing my opinions, as are many other creators out there. And my approach is always simply to say, well, this is what I feel about a given subject, and I'm grateful to have the platform. I'm grateful to the YouTube guys for giving us all this platform, i.e., other creators as well. And I think that it's just a case of, yeah, I believe this is an important subject to talk about. I'll talk about it, and that's it. Um, but recently, I'll be quite honest, some of the feedback I've been getting does leave me a little bit cynical about where to go from here. I've just been looking over comments, and the one I made about Michael Jackson, I think it was the Finding Neverland documentary, Leaving Neverland documentary. Jen Joseph. I'll leave her comment up there to show people some of the crap that I have to put up with sometimes. All it is several paragraphs, block capitals, ranting about what a scumbag apparently I am. And she pretty much personifies a sort of fanatical, extremist, deluded, intolerant superfan that I'm talking about. I have no respect for such people. Go and fuck yourselves. If you're that sort of fan, I have no respect for you. I think you're living your life through someone else. And the irony is, I didn't even say I was agreeing with the documentary. In fact, I made some critique of the angle that the two accusers were coming from. So, this is something that is irritating when people make these rants on my channel and they blatantly haven't even bothered to listen to the video. If you're going to leave a comment, all I would ask is you listen to the video, or at least you listen to part of it. At least get the gist of it. Okay, if you don't want to sit through the entire video, at least listen to part of it. But don't come to my channel and assume you think you know what I'm talking about or what I'm going to talk about and just leave a rant. I mean, my gut instinct would be to just remove that and even report her. I'd be within my rights to report her because it's nothing but abusive ad hominem attacks on me. But I'm going to leave it there. so people can see for themselves what sort of nonsense I have to put up with on occasion. In the end of the day, the reason I leave comments, including negative comments, is because if I didn't, if I just blocked comments that I didn't like, people would say I'm being totalitarian, I'm being intolerant of different opinions, and obviously I don't want that criticism. So I leave critical comments. But in doing so, when you put your views online, you know that it's going to get responses. That's the nature of social media. And I accept that. And I accept that not everyone's going to agree with me. I even accept that not everyone's going to like me. But I'm getting a little bit tired of people who keep coming back to my channel and they just want to attack me personally, or they want to just leave nothing but negativity, right? I'm getting a little bit tired of it. I understand if you've seen one of my videos and you don't like what I'm saying, you leave a critical comment and that's that. What I don't get is people who keep coming back, right? I've come across a lot of videos that I don't particularly like. I don't like the views of the person in them. So I might leave a negative comment, but I'm not going to linger around. It's something I don't understand. If you don't like me, then what the hell are you still doing here? There's a fine line between just having a different point of view and outright trolling. And in the end of the day, my channel is not a democracy. I don't have to put up with crap from anyone, right? So people who keep coming back with negativity, I wonder what they're really trying to achieve. In terms of getting into a back and forth with them, I tend to leave my views to the video itself. I'll try to respond to comments occasionally, but if people are seeking a big back and forth like me to get into a long-winded debate, you're wasting your time, okay? Because very few other creators do that, okay? So why should I? Why should I have to get into a big long back and forth? What's the point? Okay, if you're saying something critical, I might respond, but if you think that I'm going to get into a big lengthy back and forth, you're wasting your time, right? So by all means disagree with me, say I think you're wrong about this, but don't say, oh Nathan, I challenge you to this, or I want you to say whatever. I'm not wasting my time with that. I leave my comments to the video. If you don't like me and you don't like what I have to say, go and make your own videos, right? And the interesting thing is, some of my harshest critics, I check out their channel and they've got nothing, okay? They are not showing their face, they're lambasting me. I don't care if you don't like me, but at least don't be a hypocrite. Don't accuse me of cowardice or accuse me of being judgmental when you are leaving comments on my channel, but you don't have the integrity to upload videos of your own. If you can't upload videos, you don't have the technology to do that. Okay, I've been there, I understand that. But at least don't troll around. Okay, leave a negative comment, but then, don't hang around because I don't know exactly what you're trying to achieve. But whatever it is, you're wasting your time. I do allow different points of view, and anyone who doubts that, my track record speaks for itself. Check back. I've got plenty of negative comments that I've kept, right? So I'm pretty tolerant in terms of accepting critique. But what I don't have to put up with is giving a platform to people who just want to try and get under my skin, attack me in a very personalized way, or people who want to serve as propagandists or apologists for totalitarian states. I mean, I make a lot of videos related to the subject of human rights. I made one recently critical of Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard and her stance on the situation in Syria. Now, she's a public figure, so as far as I'm concerned, anyone in public life, it's valid that they are a target for peaceful criticism. And I was very critical of her stance in meeting Bashar Assad. Now, that particular video attracted a lot of negativity. And it's strange because sometimes I make similar videos and it's more positive responses. So maybe it's just that the critics are more likely to comment. I don't know because I've had positive comments as well. But I had one guy saying, I'm a 73-year-old veteran and I've done my research and the chemical attacks were staged. He had nothing to, he had no evidence for this. He just claims he's done exhaustive research and he was patronizing me. I don't need to put up with that sort of crap from anyone. I don't care what your background is. If you're going to defend a man like Bashar Assad, you know, you're coming to the wrong place. And what pisses me off is these people defend Assad, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, these obnoxious dictators. And yet, those are regimes that utterly crush any dissent at home. So they're being cheerleaders for that, and they expect me to give them a platform, and yet they're ignoring the fact that those regimes don't tolerate any dissent at home, particularly Xi and Assad. And I find it frankly disgusting. I understand people who live under those regimes to some extent being apologists for them because that's the education system they have. But Americans, Britons, Canadians who come to my channel and want to be cheerleaders for Assad, what the hell is wrong with you? Have you come from the Oliver Stone school of thought? I mean, I do not have to give a platform to conspiracy theorists and to people who are going to serve as cheerleaders for some grotesque dictators. I'm not going to give a platform to people who get into rants, personalized rants against me. I'm just not going to do it. I'm under no obligation to do it. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I don't need to put up with abuse to show that I'm tolerant. If you don't like me, if you don't like what I have to say, feel free to make a response video. So far, only one person has done that. It was a guy I had a bit of back and forth with. He was a young British guy. He was dewy-eyed lover of the Kim regime in North Korea. And I made a lot of points to him. He made a response video. Yeah, and we had a bit of a thing with that. But at least I'll give him credit. At least he made a response video. Most of my critics won't do that. They'll mouth off to me, they'll lambast me, but I check out their channel and they've got absolutely nothing to say. So say what you want about me, but at least I'm showing my face, right? And in the end of the day, this is my house. If you're going to come here and make excuses for brutal dictatorships, don't expect me to take kindly to that. Don't expect me to give you a platform and then don't go crying when I take a hard line with that. I don't see why I should give you a platform. I think it's pretty disgusting that when men, women, and children are being butchered, when they're being tortured, there are idiots, ignorant people who are actually spinning Kremlin fueled conspiracy theories and debunked lies, outright lies. I'll give you one of them. They say the white helmets are terrorists. Well, and their rationale for this was that Eva Bartlett, so called independent journalist, she's not. She's an Assad cheerleader, and she's contributed to Russian media, so she's not independent. That's just only a complete fool would say that she was independent. Anyway, her claims about the white helmets were looked into, and the rationale for this was that a little girl in one of these attacks was said to be featured in another video, therefore it shows that she's an actress. Well, actually, this was looked into by Snopes, and they'd done their homework, they looked into it, and what was discovered was actually, although the little girl looked similar, the other little girl was in fact a different girl. They had a similar dress, but that was the only similarity. So a lot of the things that what I find is a lot of people who make conspiracy theories supporting the likes of Assad, they come out with sweeping statements, and they get into these sort of sweeping statements about things like, for example, oh, well, it's all fake. Look at the history of the CIA. They fake everything. And America funds ISIS. And they'll just come out with all these blanket statements. And then when you ask them for evidence, what is their evidence? It's Russian funded sources. Okay. It's sources that are pro Assad. So they're hardly neutral sources. Anyway, that not to go off on a tangent. It's not just about that, it's about generally the approach I'm going to take on my channel. As far as I'm concerned, this is my channel. Agree with me or disagree with me, but don't troll my channel and expect me to be okay with that. Don't troll my channel and then, think that I need to give you a platform. I don't, and I won't. And to everyone who's positive, thank you. Okay, I don't want to be too negative myself. I know it's not all bad. It's just that these sort of people have been pretty dominant of late, and I don't know what their agenda is. I can guess, but I don't care what your background is. If you're going to come to my channel and support Putin, Xi, or Assad, you can fuck right off. Okay, I don't have to humor that. I don't have to give a platform to that.